Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back for our second science video, our Friday video. And I was able to find 3 different ways that we can show sound and vibration through homemade instruments. So if you have some of these things at home, I'm going to give you a second to grab them in between each tutorial. And then we're going to see if we can make some different instruments so we can hear different volumes, we can hear a different pitch. So we're going to talk about sound. Maybe we can even feel or see the vibrations on our musical instruments today. So boys and girls, we're going to dive in. But first, if you found some sounds inside and outside your house, I'm going to share my screen with you and I want to see if you found any sounds that Miss Owen found. So I'm going to share my screen and put my paper on so we can talk about what I saw outside. So inside, we talked about my washing machine. I said it had a loud volume and a low pitch. And a couple other things I did inside. My dogs were barking inside yesterday. Sometimes they're outside, but yesterday they were actually inside. And their barks were so loud. And we have little bitty dogs, so their voices are very yippy and very high pitch. I heard a car horn outside. Somebody was honking their horn, and that was a really loud volume and a really low pitch. And then the wind, it was really windy outside the other day, but the wind volume was kind of quiet. It was just enough for you to hear, but it sounded kind of eerie. It sounded a little bit creepy outside. So I want you to look at my list, and if you have any of the same stuff, that's pretty cool. Maybe you can post a comment down below if you had some of the same sounds that I had inside and outside yesterday. So I'm ready to jump into our instruments. The first instrument, boys and girls, we are going to need a toilet paper roll. So if you have an empty toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll, then that's what we're going to need. You're also going to need a pair of scissors. And we're also going to need some wax paper. So boys and girls, your parents might have these things at home. You might need to ask them if they have any of this stuff. And you also need a rubber band. So if you have these 4 items, then we're going to make something called a kazoo. So pause this video if you need to go get your materials for this experiment. Scissors, a toilet or paper towel roll, 1 rubber band, and some wax paper. It should be wax, okay? All right, when you come back, we're going to make our kazoo. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take our toilet paper roll, and boys and girls, you need to be very, very careful. I'm going to use scissors, and you might need to get your parents to help you with if they need to maybe use like the point of a pencil. And what we're going to do is I'm going to poke 2 holes inside my toilet paper roll. I'm going to spin it and spin it and spin it until it makes a little hole. I think I might do 2 of them. You have to be very, very careful because you don't want to poke yourself with the scissors. It's a little bit tricky. Or you could use the tip of a pencil. That might be a little bit easier. Maybe that's what Miss Owen should have done, was found a pencil or a pen to poke a hole in our toilet paper roll. Okay, so I want to make sure that air can get through this, because what we're going to do is we're going to blow through this kazoo in order to make some sounds. So we have 2 holes poked in our toilet paper roll. Next, I'm going to take my wax paper, and it's a little bit, it makes a lot of noise itself, but I'm going to take off just enough where I can tear it. And I only need a little bit, so I'm going to cut maybe like half of it off. So all I need is that square. So once you have that, we're going to cover the top of our toilet paper roll. We're going to hold it down like this. We want it to be like this at the top. And then we're going to take our rubber band and we're going to wrap our rubber band around the top of our kazoo. Okay, so your kazoo should look a little bit like that. Super easy. If you want, boys and girls, you can actually paint this or color it with some markers or some crayons, or maybe put some stickers on it so that it looks a little bit cooler than just a regular old toilet paper roll. So I'm going to switch it around, and then what we're going to do is we're going to see if it works. We're scientists, so we don't know if it's going to work, but what you're going to do is you're going to put it on your mouth and blow on it and go So it can make different sounds, and if you cover one of the holes, it might make something different. So you have your own little kazoo, and it's making a sound. Those sound waves are going through the kazoo, and you made your own little instrument at home. All right, boys and girls, we have a second one, and it is like a flute almost. And you're going to need the following items. You need some straws. So I picked 8 straws, and all of mine are different colors. So I got 8 plastic straws. I bet if you have paper straws, they would work as well. So you need some straws. You need some tape. And you need some scissors. So if you have those 3 materials, boys and girls, if you have clear tape, some straws, and a pair of scissors, then go run and get them. Pause this video, go run and get your materials, and come back. All right, boys and girls, next we're going to make our flute, and our flute is to see if we can hear some subtle pitch differences. So remember, a pitch is how high or how low our sound can go. So maybe we can make a flute that has a really low sound or really high sound, or maybe if we blow on it, it will change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack my straws and make them flat, just like this. I'm going to line them up so they are flat against my hand at the bottom. Once I have that, I'm going to take my tape, go like this and rip it off. It might be hard to hold the straws and the tape at the same time, but you want to make sure that your straws are flat. And then I'm going to put the tape around the straws, but make sure that my straws are still flat. We don't want them to get all crinkled up because we want them to have their own spot. So once you have your straws taped together with your clear tape, you're going to take your scissors, and where the little stretchy part is up here at the top, I'm going to cut it off at an angle. So remember, an angle is not straight across. It kind of goes to a tilt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over here. I'm going to turn it to the side and kind of go to the corner. So I'm going to start, I'm going to cut through my straws. All the little pieces are going to fly everywhere. That's okay. Okay, so now we have our flute. So your straws should look like this, and they kind of have a slant at the top. And you're going to play it by holding it up to your mouth, and you're going to go from one side to the other and see if we can hear the pitch change at all. So let's see. It sounded like it got a little bit higher at the end. Let's listen. Wow, pretty cool, boys and girls. So here's our little flute that you can make at home. And our last experiment that we're going to do today, you need an empty tissue box. So if you have an empty tissue box, then that's awesome, but don't go tearing out all your tissues and laying them all around your house, because your parents would probably get pretty upset about that. So if you have an empty tissue box, what you're going to do is you're going to take out this clear stuff in the middle, and you're just going to tear it with your fingers. And the only other thing that you need is some rubber bands. So I'm going to grab some rubber bands. All of my rubber bands are pretty much the same. I have some, they're a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker, but if you have different colored rubber bands, or if you have some rubber bands that are really skinny, maybe some that are really long, some that are really big, I think those would work better. But I'm going to use what I already have at home, because remember, we have to stay inside, stay safe. So these are what I have at home. What you're going to do, and you need to be very careful, because remember, if you stretch a rubber band, you don't want it to pop back into your face. So be very, very, very careful, boys and girls. You might want to get your mom or your dad or your brother and sister to help you with this so that you don't get hurt. So hopefully Miss Owen does not get hurt when she tries to put these rubber bands on, but I'm just going to wrap the rubber band around my box. I'm going to slide it in the middle like that. Then you're going to grab another rubber band, and you're just going to keep doing this until you get a few rubber bands around your tissue box. So I think I might do maybe 5. I think that might be enough, maybe 4. So I'm sliding them around. I'm going to take one and go on this side. Whoop. It's kind of hard to see, but this is all you need to do, is slide your slide your thing. So you can have as many as you want. You could have some skinny ones on this side and then get bigger. You can have them skinny, big, skinny, big. You can have long, short, long, long, short. You can make a pattern if you want. I only did 3, but you can do as many as you want, boys and girls, because this is kind of like a guitar. So what we're going to do is we're going to see, remember yesterday or on Wednesday when we talked about our vibrations and I pulled the elastic and it made a little bit of a sound. So remember, if you are pulling these rubber bands, you are making vibrations. Remember, vibrations are things that move back and forth really, really fast. So if I have these rubber bands, they're already stretched around my Kleenex box. So I wonder if we can make it like a guitar. It's kind of like strumming the guitar like we saw in the video. So what you're going to do is you're going to pluck your rubber bands, and it kind of made a little sound. I bet if you have some different strings, different rubber bands that are different sizes, I bet you could even come up with a song. If you come up with a song on a homemade guitar tissue box, you better send that to the White Station Facebook page because I want to see it. So listen to all the different pitches that I hear. So listen. All 3 of them sound a little bit different. That's pretty cool, boys and girls. All right, so we have our homemade guitar. We have our flute that we made, and we have our kazoo that you can decorate. So boys and girls, those are 3 instruments that you can make at home with things that you have laying around your house. Or you can go on the really cool website, Generation Genius, and I'm going to show how to get on there if you don't remember how. So if you go on Generation Genius, you're going to log on and type it in the very, very top of your screen. So we have generationgenius.com. You are going to go to the login at the very top right corner. And I already have it typed in our login. Our username for the school is WSE Spartans, and our password is Spartan Strong. So if you log into Generation Genius, you can actually watch some really cool science videos all by yourself. So when you get in the science section, I want you to go to the search bar and type in the word sound, because that's what we're learning about this week. And if you go to this one, Introduction to Sound, with that really colorful, cool paint on the speaker, it'll show you another experiment that you can do at home if you have a really loud speaker. Miss Owen does not. That would hurt my ears, so I wasn't able to do that one. But this is a really, really cool video where an actual scientist tells you all about sound. So if you end up watching that video, boys and girls, that would be awesome. So this is it for today. I will see you next Wednesday for a new topic and next Friday for some new experiments. So I'll talk to you later, boys and girls. Stay strong and stay healthy.